Alright everybody, welcome back for another video of Virtual Warfare, text-based roleplay fighting tutorial series. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a rule set from Amino. Now, the person who shared this rule set with me was saying that a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a few people have been just going loosely with the abilities or what's possible in MP. So they may have like created ability and they would try to apply it to the standards of modern power and either God mode or just miss the mark completely. So I asked her, one of my friends, I don't want to mention her name, but she know who she is, and if she wants to address herself, she can do so in the comment section. Now it's just a few complaints that are just gauging powers incorrectly and just making these rule sets for whatever reason. All right, so I asked her to let me see some of the rule sets, and she sent me a few of them. So it's going to be, I think it's 4 rule sets, and I'm just going to make more videos. But this is going to be the first video, and this video, no, I don't want to do that. So the first video is going to be about just one rule set named Satsui. Satsui. Okay, whatever. So I'm using a new tool, which is to be able to write on the screen. So hopefully that will go smoothly. If not, just bear with me. So I'm just gonna be reviewing these rule sets. Just giving my input on it, and throughout the video, if you guys think that I should address something or talk about something or just mention something, just do it in the comments. And in the next few videos that I do or talk about rule sets, I will mention those things in that video. So I've never seen this rule set before. I have never opened this page before. It looks pretty good though. It looks pretty cool. Again, I don't know what I'm reading. I don't know what to look for. I'm just reading along, seeing this for the first times as some of you guys. So let me see. FYI. So without further ado, let's go on with the video. This seems like it's going to be like an hour long because, I talk a lot and I like to dive deep into things. So let's just get on with the thing. Alright, so for your information, read the RRL section, which I have no idea what that is. Before getting into the tiering system, what is RRL? I don't know. Trust me, it makes things a lot faster unless you're okay with reading the entire lecture. Ooh. They see that coming. They see that one coming. We're giving it a chance. We're giving it a chance. I don't think I'm going to read the entire lecture. It depends on what it's about. But I don't think I'm going to read the entire thing. I probably just jump down to the tier system. So it's a fun fact. My favorite character. I'm gonna just open this up so I could begin writing. He said my favorite character from Street Fighter is Akuma, and Alucard is one of my top favorite. All right, well, fun facts. Okay, so obviously, okay, this is not to like, this is not to bash the creator. I don't. If you want to create a rule set based off of building blocks, I don't care. I'm just giving my own opinion. I'm talking about what automatically, goes to my mind while I'm reading. And one of the first things that comes to my mind is that this person, me personally, doesn't seem like they are like too hell bent on the system. Like you guys, how I talk about virtual warfare, how I talk about the system, and I'm all about the system. But this person right off the bat talks about his favorite Street Fighter character, and his top favorite anime character is Alucard. So I don't know how to look into that. I would see it as, all right, this person he likes the mechanics of Street Fighter, and he likes the personality of Alucard. The only Alucard I know is from Castlevania. This is from the game Symphony at Night. That's the only Alucard that I know. Besides that, right here. Oh, here we go, Alucard from the Castlevania video game. Okay, cool. All right, there we go, Alucard. There we go. So that guy is awesome. I didn't see that part. So it just gives me a little idea of, I guess, how the person is writing this or what he it all like it all depends on first impression. Like first or the first words that you want your viewers to see shows a lot about what it's going to be about. Read the RRL about the tiering system. And he talks about his favorite character. I don't know why he mentioned that. Just a fun fact. He could have put anything else, but he chose to put that. So let's just continue on. Satsui no Kado contract with condition. I don't. This is a story. This is like it's a story. I don't want to read the story. I just want to get into the fighting part. Why is it a story inside a rule set? Wait, is this a rule set, right? Rule set, right? Why is there a background? The crow spoke. Why is it a background? I'm not sure. Surges of murderous intent for the people who. Why is it a background? Why is it a story? I'm not like. What is this? A story? What is this? Not sure what it is. I don't want to read it. The big part of this was to encourage fighters to share more about the lore behind their OC, to learn of the struggles he or she went through to obtain the power and skill they have now. If the character has the feats, then they can do that. Then they can do, or that they can do. I'm sorry. It should be they. I think that it should be that. Sorry, it's confusing me. Wait. I'm gonna read it. If the character has the feats, then they can do it. Okay, then they can do it. Okay, simple as that. But not all people have feats for their character or a power scale estimate, and I just want to encourage that alongside power scale and debate ideas for myself. With that being said, here are basic grounds rules for. Okay. Now this doesn't determine the intellectual capability of a person, But when I see people, grammar is not the best. My grammar isn't the best either. So I was say aren't the best. My grammar isn't the best either, But I consider myself, somewhere along the lines of, people can understand what I'm saying, or my words. Some people say it's eloquent or it comes out smoothly. But when I see people who like doesn't really make punctuation and grammar of the forefront of their literature or whatever they presented, it kind of draws me back to where does this person really know what they're talking about, or they just wants to make a rule set because everybody else is doing it. I don't know. Again, this doesn't define anyone's intellectual capability, but it does play a big part when you're trying to explain something, because the harder it is to explain something, maybe that person does not understand it. So maybe I'm just judging. I'm just judging too quickly. I'm not giving it a chance. Okay, so let's just read through this thing. So with that being said, here are the basic ground rules for the Satsui. Satsui. See, the Satsui, and up here. See, I don't get it. Is this a okay? So this I could use my pencil. Where is that? I think it's this one. So I guess this right here is a typo. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be Satsui, and it's just a. I don't know. Maybe I don't know this Japanese stuff. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, maybe that's what it is. So scrolling, see, auto hit. Okay, auto hit. Auto hit is performed when the writer dictates the fate of their opponent without giving them a chance to do likewise. Then punches Soma, and oh my goodness, why? When I see stuff like this, like it creates the tone that is not. It's not a serious. It's not. They're not being serious. Like they can use anything else, but when you say stuff like that, it's like how can you take this stuff serious? I just can't. I can't take stuff like that serious. Anyway, causing his heart to explode, he dies being weak. Okay. I get it. Like I guess you're trying to meme an auto, but at the same time, it's like, come on, bro. Like you could just be more professional than that. This. like if I was reading this rule set, I would have just not. I would have just ignored it. I would have just kept moving. You know, because when I see stuff like this, again, it just undermines the professionality of of how a rule set should be. You know what I mean? It's just they just I don't know, just doing stuff. Okay, all text should be labeled as attempts. By doing so, it indicates that the opponent has a chance to defend themselves. Okay, character control, puppeteer. This is when. Okay, so we all know this stuff here. Okay, you know it's funny when I look at rule sets. When I look at rule sets, I see if any of my wording is being used. You know, because like I just see that because I have a lot of I've came across a lot of people who just use my wording like even verbatim. Like you guys seen some of the videos that I made of people just taking my rule sets, just taking my name out, using everything I wrote, just taking the name out, changing the name. People just using exactly what I wrote, just changing the subtitle or the heading for it. So I always look for if people using my word, and just because what I mean, like I present a lot of stuff and I just throw it out there, and I'm sure people probably used it or whatever. You guys know the story. So you already know what puppeteering is. Wordplay and prep. Okay, auto dodging, auto casting, all of it is invalidated. Using big, powerful text should usually take a good amount of time to cast. If not, it should have a huge description. Help your opponent truly understand what you are doing, all while flexing how badass your character is. Not only will this give you style points, but it could also help the opponent search for an opening for a counter, or maybe even help he or she properly evade the attack. Speaking of evading, auto dodging is a no-go. Okay, so we already know auto dodging. This guy's pretty much just reiterating what we already know. What's interesting in here, it talks about, let's see if I can use my pen. This guy talks about something about using time, or right here, it should take a good amount of time to cast. Why it should take a good amount of time? Because it helps your opponent search for opening a counter, or maybe to properly evade the attack. So you guys already know what I like to use virtual time, and I like to use step-by-step processes, and these step-by-step processes, which you guys already know, helps create steps for where the opponent can interrupt the process. So if I want to do a teleportation, which I just sent a new video that I sent out. If I want to teleport or do anything that's going to be like enter a different dimension, I can't just say my character teleports and I just teleport to A to B. Like I have to show the process of my teleportation to give my opponent an equal and fair opportunity to stop the operation or to stop the process. They can stop me from focusing. They can stop me from bringing down the body. They can stop me from re-entering at a particular point or whatever. So that helps create timelines or time frames of where my opponent can stop the process. So right here, a good amount of time to cast to help their opponent, search for opening. So this right here is good. I will say that well, I just say I emphasize on this heavily, and I try to implement that into the roleplay fighting world because there's a lot of abilities out there that does not use this method and could cause a lot of things to be auto and just cause a lot of things to just be banned because there's not a lot of methods on how to perform it fairly and equally, and it's gonna be another video probably. Yeah, I think that's another time. But I am trying to get to using YouTube Shorts so I can just send out a short video about something. And one of those videos is going to be about how to use a gun in roleplay fighting. Anyway, so that's that wordplay and prep. So okay, now it says about here look teleport. Speaking of auto dodging, it is no go. It gives an in-depth explanation on how the character avoided the incoming attack, and if the character is using teleportation. Even characters with a regenerative healing factor should explain the process the best they can. Even so, fighters should still know to be able to generate. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not to be able to generate limbs. Going to the next category, okay, which is generation. Now I know for a fact if you look at this is the interesting thing. Now I'm not saying steps, you know, creating steps isn't because that's part of the roleplay fighting system. Like virtual warfare, I know I'm supposed to be talking about this rule set, but just give me a moment. Virtual warfare does not. Oh, virtual warfare does not create new rules. Like it's not a virtual warfare don't create rules, but it pulls out hidden laws within the system or laws that's being overlooked. For example, I think this guy mentioned auto casting, auto healing, auto. Okay, so it's another thing called auto scaling, which you guys already know. Just for a short example, if someone says that I throw, excuse me, I throw a Kamehameha blast that gives out 500 tons of power, right? And the opponent says, well, I shoot out a Kamehameha blast that gives out 600 tons of power. But it's like, so how did to deflect it? So how did the opponent know how much power they need to deflect their opponent's blast? So that's if they don't show their work inside the roleplay, then it's like an auto scale. You automatically found out how much power you needed to use in order to deflect my blast. So this is not a rule, but it's a law that is generated because of a step that was not taken. And one of those steps is explaining how your opponent found out that how much force they needed excuse me, how much force they needed to deflect that blast. So again, virtual warfare does not add rules, but it just only illuminate laws or illuminate instances that's ignored because people don't dive deep into the system. And some of those things are just implementing step-by-step process in every little thing. Now if you look at other rule sets, you don't see any of this anywhere. You don't see people stressing the idea of adding step-by-step processes or making sure things have a step-by-step process because I guess people just don't care or they have their own way of thinking or own way of fighting. But now as you see virtual warfare, stressing this idea, you can see people catching on and, actually saying that they need to explain the process the best they can because it's essential. You need to explain the process as best you can so it can provide what? An equal opportunity. Where's it at? I think I passed it already. I think I did. Somewhere about opening help your opponent create a counter because it helps your opponent explain the counter because it shows your work of the step-by-step processes. So moving on to regeneration. So far it's pretty much the basics. I'm not sure how long this thing is. And we'll find that out. So some characters have the ability to generate. Okay. Let's see. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. I didn't know it was that deep. I didn't know. Okay. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay. Some characters have the ability of regeneration or a regenerative healing factor. Regenerative. Okay. Where the character can rapidly heal themselves without receiving any medical regeneration. Some people have the generic loss. Some people have the generic loss a limb it grows. Some people have the generic loss. I don't know what they were saying. Others have special conditions or requirement in order to heal properly. Even so, I threw down some restrictions. Again, like when people use I'm not saying like when people talk instructionally, like they give instructions and then they use I, which is a personal. I forgot the word. I think it's I don't know if it's a particle or article. But they use the word I. It makes it personal. So you're presenting instruction, but you say I did this, and it's like, it's just it's just not the best way to write. You know, if you're gonna generalize instructions, you would say players, or you would just say even so, here's some things that has been thrown together in order to blah blah blah. Don't say even so I threw this together. You want to take yourself out the picture. You know, it just generalized and said here's some things that has been thrown together in order to help players, understand this better. You know, you never want to say I. So anyway, even so, I threw down some restrictions of my own by adding a number of turns required depending on the type of regeneration you have. Again, some characters' healing factors are different from others, so a good explanation may be required to determine what category they would be put in. If you don't know what category of regeneration you're in for whatever reason, you can find the wiki entry on it. I'll link it. So I guess the links is I don't know. Okay, main regeneration, flesh wounds, damages. Okay, loss of limbs, 9 turns. Okay, high regeneration, flesh wounds and damages to organs, bones. Loss of a limb, 6 turns. Oh, okay. Flesh wounds. Now, oh my god, I don't want to even. I don't want to go. I don't want to go with turns. You know, like when people use turns as a form of time, like a duration, it just completely contradicts everything is being said. Because like you can, it's hard to use turns. It's hard to use turns as a duration of time and use the time inside the fight as a duration of time. Like it creates like they're conflicting methods of determining time in the roleplay fight. You know what I mean? Because say for example, say loss of limb 6 turns. Okay, say only about 3 seconds transpired within those 6 turns. So that means your limbs would grow in 3 seconds. You know, and it's like okay, like so how does that? How does it differentiate between mid, high, and godly? If all of these, even though it is the times is different, even though the times are different, if each if each if each these 9 turns, 3 seconds went by, and this one 3 seconds, and this one 3 seconds, then what is the all this is 3 seconds, even though these are different, even though these are different, the virtual time is still the same. So because in one say for this one, right, in 3 turns, maybe 4 seconds may pass, because my opponent did this, it takes a second. My opponent did this, it takes a second. And then the next 3 turns, 1 second passed because, in the millisecond, my opponent did this, so I reacted and I end my turn. And while my opponent did this, and the next millisecond, I did this and I end my turn. So it's like, because time is always relative within a fight, like, you don't know. It's not relative, but it's subjective because in 3 turns, 4 seconds can pass, and the next 3 turns, 1 second can pass based off a millisecond. So this is why it's not always good to use turns to determine a duration to determine time. It's like it's always inconsistent because we just seeing like this can be 4 and this can be 3 and this can be 1. Like we don't know because time is always subjective according to what's happening in that time frame or what's happening in that turn. So it's not always good to use turns as a duration of time, especially if you're using virtual time, at the same time, because we just read that it takes time to cast. Like, so is this time based off of turns? Or is it based off of, actual time? Like which one is it? Is it turns or is it time? We don't know until we fight. And, it's not always, as I say, it's not good to have, it's it's not good to have them both in the same fight. Anyway, moving on. Let's see what you say because I didn't read. It said characters that can survive absolute incineration. 3 turns. Okay, so anything that has to turn, I'm probably going to skip over because we talked about how turns in time is bad. And unless you created a system that fundamentally go off of turns, like everything is based off of turns. Like my opponent cannot attack me until this is transpired. So my opponent can only attack me once I'm done. Like my opponent has to respond to the end of my action. So if I want to jump, slide, jump again, and kick, my opponent cannot interrupt me during those times, but it can only respond to my last action, which is the kick. Because once I interrupt, it creates a rift in time where is that, if it takes me 1 second to jump, 1 second to slide, 1 second to kick, for that turn it's 3 seconds. If my opponent interrupt me during the jump, that means that only 1 second transpired virtually in that moment in time because my opponent jumped in and stopped me from sliding and kicking, which was the duration of 2 seconds. And therefore, once my opponent interrupts that timeline where only 1 second transpired, when it's my turn, I have to go off what my opponent just did, so I can interrupt my opponent in whatever timeline that I want to. So even though 3 turns transpired, only a few seconds transpired within a virtual time because my opponent interrupted me doing whatever he wanted to do. This was not good. Again, it's not good to use those things. Fabricated feats. Okay, Herculean or having chunny. I don't know what that is. This is a term I use when someone uses an ability that his or her character does not actually have. Okay, that's pretty much God mode. This term could be used for characters that casually raises the strength, speed, and durability cap of their character while in mid-RP. This could also be used for people who don't really understand how to have feats match up to. I don't know. This guy is mentioning feats. Like I don't know the context of feats in this rule set because I just don't know what he's trying to get at. Now I get it. Like you can't. I gotta find a way to keep this thing open. Okay, I just leave it open. Like you can't use. Like you can't. It says someone using an ability his or her character does not actually have. I get it. So if I say that, but he's mentioning like raises their strength, speed, durability cap. Okay, so I mean, of course you can't do that. This is God mode. If my character say if I say my character can only lift 2 pounds, and then out of nowhere I say, oh yeah, I can lift 500 pounds. Like how's your character able to just suddenly lift 500 pounds out of the blue? Yeah, I understand you use this method, you charged up, all this stuff like that. But how are you able to do that? Unless you say your character has the potential of doing these things, and then I understand. But if you just said that your character can only lift 2 pounds, then suddenly lift 500 pounds when it benefits them, then it's like, of course it's God mode. I don't really see the discrepancy there. But here's an example. I watched as someone failed to dodge an attack that was moving at 360 miles per hour, even though the character was said to have God level senses, which wasn't right. In another instance, a person's character gets hit by a mountain level attack. You know what? To be honest, I don't want to read this no more. I don't like. I would have just skipped over this rule set. I can't look at this. I can't look at this at all. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, all right, that's the tiering system. Wait, how much is stuff? This is a lot of stuff here. Look at this. This is absolutely bonkers. I'm just gonna. They got point system. No. 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 Let me not judge a book by its cover. I'm sorry, yo. This is unbelievable. Alright, tiering system. Let me just skip all this stuff. The following is a comprehensive overview. Okay, hopefully comprehensive. Comprehensive overview. I wonder if it could go diagonal. Nah, just go straight up. Put it up here. Okay. It's a comprehensive overview of the heretical. Wait, hierarchical. Hierarchical, right? Hierarchical system. Let's say heretical. I don't know why I say heretical. Wait. I don't know. Hierarchical, right? Hierarchical system. It's hierarchy. Okay, hierarchical system, which this wiki utilizes in order to properly categorize the index fictional characters and entities based on the scale of their feats and the varying scopes which they can affect or create, destroy. However, it should always be kept in mind that while destructive capacity and area of effect are some of the most primary ways to qualify for a particular tier, they are not the only one. For instance, harming a character with a certain level of durability also allows another character to qualify for the corresponding tier. Furthermore, it should be noted that characters from a higher tier are not necessarily invincible to entities of lower tier, as certain powers and abilities can potentially bypass the difference in strength entirely, allowing the latter to contend with or overpower such characters via hacks. It is also important to know that the difference between the lowest and highest bounds of a given tier is extremely variable. Okay, is extremely variable and can be absolutely massive in scale. Hence, being far stronger than a character that belongs to a certain tier does not necessarily qualify one of a higher rating. Okay, so what I think I like tier systems. If you guys see my other tier system, well, it's not my tier system, but I reviewed it. It was awesome. I liked it a lot. And I always wanted to use it, but I just haven't got a chance to really do it. Wait, let me see. Hopefully I'm still recording, right? Okay, 30 minutes. Human. Okay. Characters, like stuff like this is just like, okay, I get it now. I thought I was gonna read this and like, you know what? This rule set doesn't have a system. It does have a system. I'm impressed that it does have a system. It has its own system. So I just can't create a character and jump into the rule set. It's like I have to create a character based off this rule set, which I get it, but at the same time, I should be able to create a character and have it apply to any rule set they're in. I mean, all depends on how you experienced roleplay fighting, like I don't say growing up, but throughout the years of fighting. It all depends on how you experience it. It all depends on who you learned from. All depends on the community you pretty much started from and had experience in. It all depends on those things to really figure out a preference on how you think characters should correlate with rule sets. Because I know virtual warfare, you create any character you want, and you can still use virtual warfare as a rule set, as a system. It goes with any character. I guess any character that doesn't contradict the rules itself. So you can't have a character that says my stats are my strength is 90, my health is 90, my wisdom is 60. You can't do stuff like that because it's like, I mean, like you can, but it's like how do you even use that in roleplay fighting? It's just hard to use stuff like that. This is why when we got to the point system, I just kind of like chuckle because it's like it's hard to use points and stats in roleplay fighting because nothing is computerized, and unless you can actually computerize and every situation based off those stats, actually evaluate situations based off those stats, then you just be guessing the whole time. You're just making stuff up just because it's role play, or you making stuff up because you just making stuff up. So that's why it's not good to use points or percentages, or not percentages, just stats. You stats or whatever in your roleplay fighting. Unless it's the storyline, you don't really care about the systematic part of the fighting. You're just using it for a story, which is fine. But for systematic part, it's just impossible to actually consistently use. Anyway, let's see. Okay, below average human level. Okay, characters capable of exerting force comparable to humans who are below an average norm in terms of strength, such as small child or infirm people, as well as smaller animals such as cats and dogs. Okay, human level, athlete level, superhuman, street level. Wait. Okay, tier 9. Okay, wait. Tier 10 human, tier 9 superhero. No, it goes no wall level, street level, wall level. I don't want to read all this stuff. Oh, I see what this doing. Okay, street level. Okay, characters who stand at a threshold of human strength and capabilities represented by Olympic level X. Okay, wait, no, I'm wrong. I was street level. It is important to note that despite being named street level, the tier has nothing to do with actually affecting the entire street. Okay, wall level, small building level. This is just way too much. Like, who would use this? Who would use this rule set? Like, who would use this rule set? It's just too much to look into. It's way too much. I wonder if people look at virtual warfare this way. Like, yo, virtual warfare got too many guidelines. I don't want to fight under it. I'm saying I'm looking at this. So it's just too much to do. Why just can't stick to MP, PC, period? That's it. Like, what happened to that? What happened to just realistic melee, unrealistic melee, moderate power, PC, which is power characters, whatever term people use it for, and there's another one I made up was CP, creative power. I mean, you can do whatever you want, just have fun with the roleplay fighting system. Systematic, nonetheless, but you do whatever you want. I'm not sure why people. I can't. I'm not reading all these tiers. I'll be there forever. Like stars. Like, why is it even here? I think people just like have an idea and just say, "Oh, look, I see levels. I'm gonna name every level that I can and just put it there. And if whatever you want to use, you can use." And it's like, I get it. It's creative. Like, I don't get me wrong. It's really creative, really thoughtful. But at the same time, it's like it's just too much. It's just too much to do. And it's still going, bro. It's still going. Extra dimensional, complex multiverse level. Like, who would use like this hyperverse level? Where's the heavenly level? Where's the God level? Outerverse level. Where's the God levels at? I'm looking for like the Jesus level or something. Like, where's mathematical speed? No. 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 I'm not doing this. I can't. It's too much. It's too much to do. Too much to look at. Oh, here we go. RRL. With all that power scale BS out of the way. Whew, thank goodness. I'm sorry. No, for real. Yeah, he named it right. He hit the nail right in the head. It is BS. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to just. I'm not trying to like put him down, but like it was a lot to read. It's like, yo, I'm not. No, I had to scroll through that. It was just. It was too much. It was. Not only was it too much to read. It was too much to actually articulate in an actual like have an actual meaning. Like, why would I want to read this thing? Like, why? Like, why is this even necessary? Like, I get it. Like, users can move at the speed of what is this? Why? Why you just can't like put it into now? Like stuff like this. I wonder if I asked you, what is this? Tell me this in miles per hour. The person couldn't tell me. The person gets now. He might be able to, but it's like I don't think he could tell me. 10 minutes in feet per second. Can't tell me. Can't tell me. Like, all this stuff is just it's just unnecessary. Beyond hypersonic speed and reaching relative speed at their fastest. relativistic. I don't know. Relativistic. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Users can move faster than what is whatever. I don't know what that is. Teleportation does not count. Immeasurable speed. Like I could travel to I could travel from here to like the outer regions of outer space and like so fast that you can't even find a number for it. Yo, no, that's enough though. No, but absolute speed. Users have absolute speed, which transcends both levels of speed infinitely and absolutely. This is what makes it absolute. Users are beyond to the concept. Now, tell me, who will use this speed? Like, why? Why is this speed even like permissible? why is it even? Why is it permissible? Like I said, it's just people just had levels to say, oh, no, I found the level. I'm gonna write it down because it's. I thought about it and I'm gonna write it down. It's like saying I have all I could. I'm God. This guy. I'm God. Yo, like just have tier God tiers where you can do anything and everything you want. You can do whatever you want so much that you could just go into the roleplay fighting system and just like change the rules while you're at it. Like that's the level I wanna be at. I just wanna be like, you know what? I don't feel like having this rule. You know what? I'm gonna use my God powers to change the rules in this, this parallel universe thing and just change the rules and say that whoever is going to type next dies. The 31st post dies or whatever, and I win. Like I could just do anything. Like if that was the case, you know what I'm saying, but I get it. People just want to have fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, how much time is left? I'm not spending too much time on this rule set. I probably spend like an hour, 20 more minutes. Let me just read this. Okay, with all the power scaling BS out of the way, let me introduce you to our release restraint level. For those who watched or read, nope. The main character Alucard being too powerful to be left on his own. His power is restricted by the control art restriction system, and it has to be accessed by the Cromwell invocation. There are shown to be 6 levels of restriction and 6 corresponding states, which lower numbers meaning greater levels of power. He can about to have a heart attack. He can often be heard stating what level he is releasing immediately prior to combat, releasing control art restriction to level 2. This is perhaps a requirement of the release mechanism, but this has never been confirmed and is likely to literary device, like a literary device. I don't. It's likely. Wait, it is likely literary. Okay. Just to say it, I guess. Another possible, or just to say it like a incantation, just to say like what's his name? Harry Potter. Harry Potter dude. He saves this. He say the spells and I don't know. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, another possible reason is that it is to unnerve his opponents as he goes into battle. Given what has been seen of his personality, this is quite likely. Alucard can release his power up to level 1 by himself. Oh man. No. We're not doing this. We're not doing this right now. We're not doing RLL. It's too much. Alright, so that's the thing, right? So I create a character, right? I want to create a character that has high generation quality. I want to create it to be, this is pick. Okay, stellar tier. Let's see. Pick. Okay, no, too far. Here we go. Pick. Flight speed. Pick. Okay. I don't know. Type 1 and RL speed 5, number 5. So I don't know. It's just too much. It's too much. It's not even a rule set anymore. It's just it's literally its own story. And I mean, it's really thought out. You know what I'm saying, it's like I couldn't do this. You know what I'm saying, this guy is very thoughtful in his stuff. He's very which call it. He's very thoughtful in his stuff, very creative, very everything is planned out. Everything is actually it's pretty good if you want to follow this lore or this type of lore thing. So it's like you can't introduce this rule set like stuff like this. When I see rule sets like these, you can't say you can't just give it to somebody and say, "Hey, look, here's a rule set to follow." Or here's how they roleplay fight. Here you go. This how you should roleplay fight. You can't do that because it's like it's his own lore. As he said, um, I forgot it. He said something about how that he wants he right here. I think it's right here. He wants to people to do something about the lore. He said something about here we go right here to encourage fighters. Let me use my pen to encourage fighters to share more of the lore behind their OC. All right, but it's like so you do that, you do all this, you show the lore, and then you use that to determine what you know what tier you're going to be in, what RRL that you're able to say, or I don't know. It's just way too much. It has a lore inside of a lore. It's just way too much stuff, and I'm saying like it's like when I talk about stuff like this, like I feel kind of bad because it's like I don't want the guy to like feel like I'm just hammering him with just insults or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because like again, like I can never do anything like this because like one I don't have the patience, I don't have the desire, and I don't have the creative mind to want to have people fight like this. You know, I don't want people to fight like this. You know, I want people to fight a different way. So I would never be able to do this. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm just like trying to like just insult the guy or whatever. Um, but at the same time, I can't. I don't recommend this at all. I don't recommend this for anyone who's just beginning. Like virtual warfare is good for beginners, intermediate, and people who have been there, experts, pros, whatever. It's good for all spectrum of experience. You know what I mean? Like it's good for everybody. You know what I'm saying, because it's just a system. It's not a rule set per se. It's a system. It brings out the hidden things about the system where people overlook and get cheated on. Because you guys already know the stories. Like I have many exposed videos. Or actually, I only got three. The main three main ones. Where one of them was like, long story short, I was jumping out of the sky and the guy attacked me. I'm like, yo, how did you see me? He said, duh, I said, no, how you never said how your character was able to see me. You just said that you just attacked me. I'm in the middle of the sky behind clouds. You just attacked me. You never explained how your character was able to see me or knew that I was there. I mean, stuff like that. Like you gotta virtual warfare emphasizes on those things where it's like, hey, you gotta show this price. You gotta show your work on how you was able to do these things. You know what I'm saying, like, because one of the even to the basic description of steps, which is noticing. Like if you don't explain how you notice your opponent coming, or even if you don't say that you notice, it would be considered an auto because you missed that step. You missed that step of noticing your opponent. You just simply defended yourself. You didn't say, "Oh, I'm seeing the punch coming my way. I throw my arm." Or you just say, "Throws my arm to block the punch." Like you have to say that you noticed it. Because like, what if I was doing like a secret move where you didn't know that it was you didn't know it was supposed to come. And you just out of nowhere just say, "Oh, I blocked the attack because X, Y, and Z." No. You have to say that. How did you block the attack? How did you notice the attack? How did you see it coming? If you don't say these things, then it's an auto. So virtual warfare is a good system for every type of experience. But whereas this one, it's for people who already know the ropes. Like I don't know why he mentioned auto hitting. He mentioned these things auto hit, okay? But how did he say? He said a big part of the rule sets encourage fighters to about the lore. With that being said, here are some basic ground rules for the Satsui rule set. Now, okay, basic ground rules. So auto God mode. Excuse me. So auto hit and character control are pretty much the same. You know, because what auto and character control, you automatically control your character without any type of whatever. You know what I'm saying? No, giving them a fair opportunity to do anything. But for some reason, God, but like some of the stuff in here is not stated in here. It's just a bunch of powers, a bunch of powers. You know, a bunch of powers. Like instead of having like restrictions, not restrictions, but instead of regulating powers, it's more so facilitating powers and saying that, well, this and then you can do this, and this. Rather than saying, look, you can do this, but you can't do this. You can do these, but you can't do it this way. It's just saying you can do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. It's pretty much saying you can do whatever you want. No restrictions whatsoever. And like roasters like this would just have a big mess of. It's just so much to do. You don't learn anything. Like, you can enjoy the roleplay fighting art, but you can't learn anything about this system because this in itself it has its own system that's foreign to the actual system that majority of people follow. You know what I'm saying, like, no one does the RRL, no one does, you know, these, or look at roleplay fighting the way, you know, this document is describing it, you know, with tier system as far as human. I mean, I guess the tier system is based off the limitations, you know, like URL, not URL, URM, MP, PC, stuff like that. They got mid PC, not mid PC, yeah, low MP, high MP, stuff like that. So it's pretty much, you know, that, but like no one's gonna actually, like no one's gonna like if someone's gonna have a kid to role play, they're not going to like make it so where like just like they just can't do, unless they have like an immense amount of power. But no one's going to create a kid character and just be weak as hell just for no reason. Like, why would you create a kid character to be weak? You know, but anything you create the character and just have, you know, immense power. I'm saying, so I guess it's the balance. Like, it would be nice if he had, well, if you're going to have this weakling, you know, it's better than you're better off fitting this power level or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They got speed tiering system, strength. I don't know. I just go. I mean, I only got like trying to make the hour video. That's 7 minutes left. Again, if you got through this video, you're something else. Okay, how much is left? Okay, that's pretty much is it. Let's just get to this point system real quick. Let's read this. Okay. Said, you're absolute mad. I like your style. If the combatants agree level 0, there are no power caps or speed caps to be followed. You simply pick any character you choose and fight. This is for fighters who are looking to gamble with their lives, or maybe they're too arrogant for their own good, or perhaps they're suicidal. Following this restraint level could either result in absolute slaughter or a legendary god tier battle for the ages. It would never work. Like, systematically impossible. Like, you would. I get it. Like, he's using it as a linguistic, you know, like, it's using it a contemporary way. Like, oh, it's the battle of the ages, two gods fighting, but it's like there would never be a winner, and it would literally go on for ages because no one would be able to win. Like, no one. You could just make up anything. You could say. When I see stuff like this, you can say you killed me, but I wake up. It was a dream the whole time. You never know because we live in the Matrix. Like, you can say anything. You can get away with anything. I mean, so it's like, yeah, you can be like, I don't know, you can get away with anything. But with a power that high, that's permissible, you can do anything. You can change the rules of the actual role play. You can say only rules for you exist because the people who made the rules was against characters like you. So they made the rules where only you would never win the battle. You would never win a battle. You can make anything happen. Because it's like it's there is no, it's what do you call it? No bars, no holes, no bars. I forgot how to say it. But it is absolutely no rules. So you can do anything you want. You know, and anyway. Skipping down to right here. So if you use this level, you are without a doubt a true wielder of the Satsui no Hado, as you quite literally have zero concern for your life throwing it away. Like, so when I see stuff like this, you ask, wait, what is it? You have zero concern for your life throwing it away. It's like this whole entire rule set. This whole entire rule set is based off of what? A story, a lore. This whole thing is a lore. This whole thing is a lore. It's based off of story. Even though remember what I said before, like the first thing you want people to see is pretty much your whole premise of the entire document, and you want the first thing that he meant that he wanted to what is this whole rule set is about? What is this whole rule set is about? This rule set is to what? Encourage people. He said part of it. A big part of this rule set is to encourage fighters to share more of the lore behind their OC. Okay, so this is the whole thing. So he wants the lore of a character to be like the prominent for this rule set. And as you can see, even to the ending, he talks about how he or she, I'm sorry, it talks about how like he gets even to the end of his. I'm just calling him he because I don't know who it is. So no disrespect. But to the end of his document, it talks about it's still based off a story. Throwing it away and throwing it away. Oh wait, throwing it away. Wait, where's the throwing it away? Wait, where's the pen? Wait, what's going on? Give me a second. Interesting. I can't draw no more. Oh, there we go. Anyway, yeah. Even to the point where he's ended his rule set. Okay, rank pointing system. Most warriors, true of heart, have two key similarities. They love to vanquish, so we're not doing this right now. Landing direct hits. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Why is this even here? Losing points. Why is this even here? What is this? What is this? Man, I'm not reading this. Okay. Well, that was the end of. No, it's more. No, I like this picture though. This picture's pretty cool. I don't know who it is, but I like it. It's pretty cool. Like, who's that? Goku? That is Goku. Wait, is it? That is. Oh, wait. Look at this comment. Useless. You're as fast as a turtle to me now. Kameha. Oh, this is. I guess it's like Dragon Ball Z. I did Yu Yu Hakusho. If you remember this show, comment, because that's a really old anime, and it was also cool. He used to use the spirit gun. What's this one? I don't know. This guy looks familiar though. I don't know who that is. But yeah, who is this? It's Goku. What kind of comic is this? Dang, he got beat up. Anyway, I guess that's that. So it's another rule set. But I think this is another rule set I'm supposed to be looking at. MPVP 4.0. So that's the end of the video. I'm gonna be doing another rule set. I probably do one at each week. You know what I'm saying, because it's like I guess it gives some people to look forward to, and it's just me running my mouth, So which I like to do, especially about roleplay fighting, So if you made it through this whole video, comment said that the word is, let me see, the word is going to be, I don't know, green tea. So if you write green tea, I knew you made it through this whole video. So yeah, besides that, stay tuned for some shorts. Stay tuned for just other videos, just trying to just put things out there and stuff like that, So I'm trying to get back in the game or making more videos. So yeah, Thanks for watching. Share, like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. Just stay tuned for more videos. See everybody in the future. Deuces.